Hey, what is up guys, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the DC Icons Darkseid and Grail 2-pack from DC Collectibles. Now taking a look at the front, we can see that the figures are in a large size window box packaging. Turning the box around, we can see images of the Darkseid and Grail figures, as well as the Batgirl figure I've previously reviewed. So with the boxes out of the way, let's crack these figures open and see what we have inside. And here's Darkseid and Grail out of the box. And man, this is one impressive 2-pack. Grail has got to be one of the most beautiful Icons figures I have ever seen, and Darkseid is absolutely massive and very impressive to have in hand. But before we take a closer look at the figures, let's take a look at the accessories. Now Darkseid and Grail come with several accessories. Starting off, we get 2 pairs of interchangeable hands for Darkseid, including a pair of close-fisted hands and a pair of open palm hands. For Grail, we get 3 pairs of interchangeable hands, including a pair of close-fisted hands, a pair of gripping hands, and a pair of open palm hands. We also get her axe and a poncho with the Omega sign. So with the accessories out of the way, let's take a closer look at Darkseid and Grail. Alright guys, now we're going to take a look at Darkseid first. This guy is just massive. I actually had to raise my camera up a little higher just to kind of get his shoulder level down. He's just such a big guy and he feels really hefty. I like that a lot. I mean, you could tell he's by no means a cheap figure when you have him in hand. He feels sturdy, he feels really solid, and then let's just take a closer look at the details of this guy because he is pretty amazing in all honesty. The head sculpt, in my opinion, is just fantastic. I love that angry grimace that they gave him, just something classic Darkseid, which I absolutely love. I love that we get this kind of dark wash in there that really brings out that intense sculpt, and even like the cracks in his head and whatnot, and just really nice. It does seem that they use a little bit of a metallic red for the eyes, so they look a little bit like they're glowing, but it works very well. I mean, absolutely love this so much. It's such a great piece. This really feels like, to me, some of the older Marvel Legend Build-A-Figures who are just big and massive, kind of like Apocalypse. Apocalypse is a good comparison figure. I don't have that figure anymore. I kind of wish I did, just like a stand these side by side, because the paint deals are just so beautiful on this guy, and we get lots of dark shading in here. You can see into the muscle structure in the abs, in his chest, his torso right here, even in the arms. We do get some dry brushing in there, so you can bring out the little cracks and things like that. Even in the legs, we get this nice little dark wash all throughout the figure. I mean, it's just fantastic. You can see all that black in there to really bring out the scratches and the dents and things like that. It's just really nice to look at. He's a really, it's when you put him on a shelf, he's gonna stand out and just really, be something special for you guys. The gold is really good. I love the metallic gold that they use for like his helmet right there, even on his chest piece and on the belt. It all looks very nice. I like that a lot. And again, he is very hefty. I love the fact that we're getting paint variants as far as like the flat blacks of his standard suit, and then you get the shoulder pieces, which are like a darker metallic, and again, all that sculpted detail of like the cracks and the folds, and even in his gloves right here, you get that like dark metallic blue, which works very well. Love this a lot. Now the sculpt is very nice. I do dig it quite a bit. Even like the Omega sign for where like his boot is, where his knee would be, it's kind of die cut out, so you can actually stick your finger through there just like that. And just stuff like that is just really good. Like dang, when I pulled him out of the box, I was impressed right away because I didn't really think he was going to be this hefty of a figure. Sometimes, a lot of times, companies tend to cheap out and make a figure very hollow, in this size. But he's pretty solid. I will say that quite a bit. Now the torso does feel a little bit hollow, not as bad, but you can tell the legs and all that are just very solid and sturdy, which I really do appreciate. One thing I will tell, he does come with interchangeable hands, so he comes with these close-fisted hands that look very nice. Again, you do get this beautiful sculpting in there with the paint variants and that dark metallic blue. The hands just look fantastic. I love the dark washes in there. But what he does comes packaged with in the box are these more open palm hands. Again, beautifully sculpted and detailed. I think those look really, really cool. And it's a little odd that we can actually see his fingernails right there. You know, but even with that, it still looks beautiful. And like I said, I love the details of the scratches and the dents and things like that. It came out really, really good. One thing I will say about this figure, though, that is a little disappointing, and I don't know if it's going to be on every figure, everyone's figure, but this hand right here, his right hand, tends to come off pretty easily, mostly with the fisted hand. So I kind of feel like the peg is a little, I don't know if it's a little thin or a little short, but honestly, it doesn't hold in there that well. So you can just give it a nice pull, and that peg does hold it in pretty good with this hand, the more open palm hand. But when you put in the closed fisted hand, I don't know, it doesn't hold in there as well as I would hope. But it seems to be okay. You kind of just have to really give it a nice tug, and it should be fine. But that's just, man, he's so massive. That's an impressive looking Darkseid. So let's go ahead and talk about articulation real quick. So the head is on a ball joint right here. It seems, but it doesn't really have a whole lot of movement. So you're really going to get about side to side, just like that. He doesn't really look up and down that much. So that's really going to get no real pivot at all. So you're really mostly just going to get the side to side, just like that. What I do like is that his shoulder pads are attached to the actual shoulder. And they actually have these hinges in there, so they do not get out of the way, so you can see them folding just like that. So when he goes up, look, I'm going to lift the arm up, and you're going to see how this works like that. And you can kind of see how the shoulder pad slides into the upper torso. So I'll do it for you one more time to see what I'm saying. And it moves, and it allows for a greater range of motion to go all the way out just like this. So that's really, really good. You can do a full 360, goes up and down just like that. One thing I am disappointed in, I will say, there's no type of bicep swivel, anything, so you cannot rotate the arm whatsoever. You're just going to get forward and back and out. That's a shame, honestly. With a figure like this, I know they already have a lot of work going into it, but just the lack of bicep swivel as far as articulation goes is a little upsetting. But it looks like we do have double jointed elbows, but he really only goes up about that far, which is almost 90 degrees. It's not great, but it's not too bad either. Since those hands are on those pegs, you can swivel left and right just like that, as well as hinge, and that is ratcheted, so that works very, very well. He does have an upper torso cut right in here, just below the abs, or above the abs, excuse me. Allows it to rotate left and right, crunch forward, back and forth, just like that, as well as pivot side to side. So you can get actually a pretty good range of motion in there. And you can kind of hear how tight it is, and yeah, like it's just really, really solid. I absolutely love it. We do got like bowling joints at the hips right there, so you can actually do the splits about that far, which I think is pretty good. Kick far about that much, not really kick back at all. We do get a hip or a thigh swivel in there, as it rotate left and right in there just a bit. We do get double jointed knees that work pretty good. I love how the kneecap right there actually covers the hinge. That actually looks pretty good. And then we do get a boot swivel in there. Allows you to rotate the whole boot left and right. We do get an ankle joint. Allows you to point the toe up and down just like that. And then we do get a really good ankle rocker in there. So that is really good. I mean, this guy is just a gorgeous piece. I absolutely love him. He's very impressive. So now with him out of the way, let's take a look at his daughter. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at Grail here. Right off the bat, damn. I think she has got to be the most beautiful female Icons figure that we've ever received. Her sculpt is insane. There's so much detailing with her. Her face, you know, even though she has like this really weird, creepy gray skin and those red eyes, I mean, dude, she's kind of hot. Let's be real. I mean, but she looks badass, like a total goth chick. I mean, I've always kind of dug goth chicks. But you can see how like she has like the shaved head on the one side, and then there's the beautiful long flowing black hair on the other side, which just looks, oh my god, I love this sculpt so much. It looks so good. I just absolutely dig it. It's just a beautiful figure. All the detailing of her suit just looks very nice. The sculpting of her choker, just all over in her breastplate and things like that, you know, her belt, just in her abs and all these studs right here in her gloves. I mean, all that came out very good. I'm really impressed with this. I mean, I really do think this is one of the best female figures that we received in the Icons line. She has a lot going, especially with the articulation. I'll show you that in a bit, why I keep saying that. Again, with these nice studs, really solid golds, similar golds that we get to the Darkseid figure itself. And I love the fact that she just has like, she's like a really small, petite, kind of hot, you know, female version of Darkseid basically, which is really cool. I want to take a look at a couple of her accessories real quick. She does have interchangeable hands, and she does have really small hands, so she has really small pegs, so it's a little tricky, but you just give it a nice little tug, and I will notice, you can see on my finger right there, that's paint chipping from those pegs, so that will happen. I think it's inevitable, but when you get them in there and you pull them out, they actually really tighten there, so I don't mind a little paint chipping as long as those pegs hold, so I'm okay with it. Again, her head is removable, so you can pop it off just like this. Give it a nice little tug, and then you can see the ball is actually inside the head itself. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, but that's how it comes off for me. You can see a little joint right there, so that's a little creepy. So she also does come with this little type of poncho thing. It has a little Omega sign right there. It has like a dark brown on the inside lining, which is really cool. And it is a softer, pliable plastic. I love that quite a bit. And you can just kind of drape this over her shoulders just like that. And then pop the head right back on. Give it a nice, you can hear it snap right in there. And then you can have that look right there. And I just think that's such a nice look. I love that so much. I love the fact that they give us some types of variance in the way you can display this figure, which is, I think, is just really good. So pop that off, take this poncho off, and put the head back on. Nice and tight. Love that a lot. And she does come with this huge, massive, like, battle axe thing, which is just insane. Now, she does have a gripping hand that you can put in there, and it's a little awkward, but she can actually hold it. And it's granted, it's not the best grip, but to be honest, she'll hold it, and it'll stay there. I mean, you can move it around a bit, and it's not really going anywhere. And the fact of how massive it is, you actually can get some like two-handed poses with it. So you can do something kind of like that, which I think is really cool. Or I for some reason like to just put it over her shoulder. You know what I mean? Just something kind of like that. I just think that's a cool look, in my opinion. But another great accessory. So let's take a look at articulation with her. So the head, again, like I showed you, it is ball jointed. So it rolls around just like that, turns left and right, up and down, very well, I think. And then she does have balling joints at the shoulders, allows it to go all the way up and down, out about that far. You do get a bicep swivel, which I thank God they did. Allows it to rotate left and right, double jointed elbows, so you can actually get quite a bit of motion in there, just like that. So you can scratch the back of her head. I think is really cool. The hands are on those pegs, allows it to rotate the hands left and right, as well as hinge up and down just like that. Again, you want to be careful when you are hinging that, because they are very small, and I fear that those might snap over time when you're just kind of fiddling with it, so just be very careful. We do get a ball joint in the breast area right here. Allows it to rotate left and right just like that, crunch forward independently just like that, and pivot side to side just a little bit. But then we do get an actual ab crunch in there, so we can crunch forward just like that and all the way back. So you do get a lot of motion in that. This skirt piece right here is a more softer plastic, so when you kick out with those hip joints, you can do the splits about that far, and they will not really hinder the articulation whatsoever. You can kick forward about that much, kick back about that far. Now we have those newer hip joints where you can actually kind of, did they? Oh no, I thought they did. Never mind. One thing I will say about this figure that thank God they're finally utilizing that we have been saying we wanted since the day one of this Icons line. We have a thigh cut. A thigh cut has been needed in these figures since the very first figure. So we do get rotation in the thigh right there, and thank the comic book heavens, we finally get that. So thank you, DC Collectibles, for finally giving us that thigh cut. So we do get double jointed knees that work very, very nice. It looks pretty natural. And then we do get an ankle joint in there. Allows you to point the toe up and down, just like that. And then with her, also a great ankle rocker in there. So again, she is just such a gorgeous piece. I kind of wish you could buy her separately, because I really do think she's worth the price tag of just having it on her own. But just getting her with her dad, I mean, I think it's fantastic. And I'll bring in Darkseid in the background for a bit. And yeah, you can just see how small she is compared to him, and all you can really see is his crotch right there, which is kind of creepy. But overall, I love this set. I think it's definitely worth picking up, and I think you would absolutely love it for your Icons collection. So for a quick size comparison, here they are sitting next to a Marvel Legends Captain America figure, as well as a DCUC Batman figure. And for your Icons comparison, here they are sitting next to the DC Icons Batman, as well as the DC Icons Harley Quinn figures. And for your Darkseid comparison, here is Darkseid standing next to the DC Collectibles New 52 Darkseid. And just for fun, here they are sitting next to little Lego Bat-Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the DC Icons Darkseid and Grail 2-pack from DC Collectibles. And to be honest, this is such an impressive 2-pack, with the size, girth, and sculpt and detail in Darkseid makes him one impressive figure for your shelf. And Grail is absolutely a knockout punch. She is such a surprising figure in this set, and I couldn't say enough about them. They are absolute masterpieces, and I highly suggest picking them up. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.